What is going on, guys? It is the Blaster Bros, and we're back for part number 2 of fixing and rebuilding this Jeep. So you can see we are filling the radiator up with water. It did have water the last time we ran it, so don't worry about that. But we did have to take it out in between this episode and the last one because it got cold, and since we're only running water, not antifreeze, it will freeze and break the radiator. So we had to fill it back up since we drained it since the last episode. And also, you may have saw we got the air cleaner back on there with a nice new air filter. It does look a little rusty, but it overall helps complete the look of the engine. So yeah, let's get right into part number 2 of rebuilding this Jeep.
No.
Yep.
No.
Okay, do it again.
Woohoo! What I want to do, well, this will just be a little very minor test.
Where should I sit?
You can just stand there if you want.
Oh my goodness.
Hey Kenny, hold that can, will you?
So you can see here we're actually raising off the back part of the tub because we need to get to a few things under here. We need to replace the brake lines, and we need to get the shocks out of here because they're seized up. So we have a few reasons to take this off, so let's get to it.
That pack is crazy. Get on!
Is it those long metal straps, Kenny, that you said would get on?
If it's the only, this is the only strap in the pack.
This one?
Yeah. That one over there.
Here's what I want you guys to do. Like, wiggle and pull rearward as I lift.
Yep. Sounds good. So you can see here we got the back of the tub successfully lifted. So you can see here I am ratcheting this nut off of this bolt so we can get the shock out of here because like I said earlier, the shocks are seized up, and a shock that doesn't move is no good. It's actually doing worse than, you know, having no shocks. So taking these off is going to be beneficial overall to the ride quality of the Jeep, since it's just basically limiting suspension travel if it's only sitting there seized up. There we go. And here you can see we're using a pry bar sort of tool to get the shock off of those bolts. Nice. Perfect.
Now this one actually has a little movement to it.
Yep.
About that much.
This guy's a lot stiffer.
See how prying is probably much more effective than
Hitting it with a hammer.
Yep. I mean, it might be more fun to hit with a hammer, but
Both
this
shocks
is
are
the
on.
one that's, it moves, but it's got a little rust.
Yeah, a little.
Woo! 'Cause this is awesome.
Excuse me. 'Cause this is awesome. 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 Yeah.
Pretty cool because we haven't like messed with the carb or anything. I mean, I adjusted on the carb and got it where I was pretty happy with it that day.
Yep.
And so I'd say it's pretty good. I think we will actually pull it in.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yep.
We gotta get the excursion in. It's got some brakes.
Got some brakes. You have christened the floor. So the first thing we're going to do in here is to fix the emergency brake line. So you can see here it's above the frame, which it's not supposed to be. So we just had to relocate it. We moved it back down underneath the frame. Next thing we need to do is get the exhaust pipe in the right spot. But you can see that the groove for the axle to come up into when the suspension is springing the axle up, it's like way too far back. So we're just going to cut it at the right spot and then weld it on backwards to get it in the right spot. So now we just need to cut the rear side of it, which I didn't get to record because I needed to hold the exhaust pipe to keep it stable, because you saw near the end of that one that it got really bouncy once you got to the end. So obviously it's even worse now that the other side isn't connected to anything. And now we just need to line it up and weld that sucker on there. So there it is. You can see that exhaust pipe is nice and perfectly lined up with the rear axle. So that's nice and fixed. Thank you guys for watching part 2 of the Jeep rebuild, and part 3 should be coming out shortly. This is Andrew from the Blaster Bros, signing off.